G'day YouTube, it's Turbo Tristan here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at Bryce's 1991 Honda Prelude that he's put a lot of time and effort into over the last year, fully freshening up the whole car. Hope you enjoy the episode.
How's it going? My name's Bryce. This is my 1991 Honda Prelude. I call it 91 Ivy because it's a 1991 Honda Prelude, and Ivy just felt like it suited.
And how long ago did you buy this car?
Pretty much bang on a year now. I didn't even consider a Prelude. I was actually looking for an EF sedan. I saw it, I was like, wow, I need that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you were looking for an EF sedan, so obviously you're a fan of the 80s Hondas. Did you search as well for Preludes, or it just came up looking for 80s Hondas?
It just came up. I was actually mostly looking for something that I knew would be more reliable than everything else I've owned in the past. You know, when you were a teenager, everyone had Hondas, and they were the most reliable things. They never broke down, just kept going. I mean, look, it's my daily driver. I drive this thing about 500 kilometers a week, so
wow,
hasn't died on me yet.
500 k's a week, that's more than most 80s Hondas drive.
Yeah.
What were some of the other cars you owned?
I owned an Audi A4 before this one. I owned a Mini Cooper S, a Fiesta XR4, a Volkswagen Bora, the VR6 version.
So they're all...
I also owned a WRX STI. That's
wow.
Cool. Yeah.
So they're all pretty late model cars, and you went all the way back to the 80s.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
For reliability, which is
it's bizarre, huh?
They don't make them like they used to.
No, that's it.
So 80s Hondas are pretty famous for their electronics and, you know, all the gadgets and gizmos they come with.
Yeah.
How's this one going considering its age?
Everything works.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing doesn't work. Just standard plastic sitting in heat for 30 years. It's the only real interior problem that I've had. Like my air conditioning knob snapped off 3 times now.
And so what do you do to fix that? Just glue it back on?
Well, the first 2 times I replaced it, but now I've just glued it back on. Yeah.
The car on the outside looks pretty standard. You've got a nice set of fat black steelies on it. Yeah. And it looks like it's been lowered. What have you done wheels and suspension wise?
So the wheels are dynamic D drifts. They're 15x8 positive 20s. And then the Michelin Pilot Sport 3s and 195/55 15s. They're definitely tires and suspension is something I never cheap out on. The wheels were just something to keep me going until I decided on what wheel I wanted. It's got BC Racing coilovers in it, and I have replaced all the ball joints, upper lower, the tie rod ends, and the steering rack.
So underneath it's pretty much a brand new car, and the same goes for the engine. What happened there?
Well, it overheated a few weeks after I bought it. I kept driving it after that, but I was like, I need to replace the head gasket because it was going through coolant oil like no tomorrow. And then COVID came around, lost my jobs, so I decided to pull it apart myself. It's the first time I've ever done that in my life. And while I was at it, me being an OCD freak I am, I hand cleaned everything I could touch. That's
one of the things that I noticed about a lot of Honda guys, you know, even though this is really your first Honda, now you're a Honda boy.
Yeah, definitely.
We all work on our cars ourselves, and we can pull them apart and put them back together and they work. Yeah. So how was that for you? Was it scary? Do you recommend it, pulling apart your engine and putting it back together?
It was scary at first because, you know, you get this idea in your head that the first time you pull it apart, you're going to go, oh no, everything's going to break. If I don't put this one bit right in the exact same way, it's not going to work anymore. I can safely say I didn't do everything to the book, but it works better than it did before. Something I do recommend everyone to do once, at least.
Did you replace everything with aftermarket parts, standard parts, or better parts?
Mostly standard stuff, but this being a 30-year-old car, it's very hard to find anything aftermarket. So, for example, my intake is a DC2 Integra intake pipe that I had to cut up, and then I put a pod filter on it. Yeah. No, and so it's not a complete rebuild. It's more of a refresh. So everything is still factory. Just replace every single nut, bolt, gasket, seal.
Well, I bet it goes like brand new. How much have you lowered it? Because they're pretty low anyway.
They are, I don't know what they are from factory, but it's currently sitting 60 centimeters off the ground on all four corners from the top of the guard to the ground. If you roll underneath, it varies from 45 mil up to 110. So
probably doesn't need any more than that. It looks really tough on those wheels. What are the future plans for the car?
Well, I plan on having this for quite a while. Either when the engine dies, I'm going to rebuild it to beef up the factory engine, or H22 swap it.
And what about cosmetically on the car?
Well, I've got a Integra front lip to go on.
Nice.
I've got CB4 Accord side lips and rear lip to go on. I need to modify them to fit though.
So that's pretty cool. Another thing that Honda people do, and you know the car community does, is they do a lot of customization and borrow things from other models. Integra front lip and Accord side skirts, you said?
Yeah, that's it. And the rear lip as well from Accord.
How did you figure that out? Is that something you've seen done before, or?
Yeah, something on the PRELUDE forums, and that they still do a lot in America. So it's something that it's very hard to find in Australia. I've been looking for about 9 months.
So I noticed there's a Instagram on the side of the car. What's that about?
Cars, Food and Coffee. That's also my YouTube channel. It's just my page that I originally started for just the car, but I decided to move it over to just everything that I love, which is Cars, Food and Coffee, because before COVID I was a chef and I am addicted to coffee.
That makes two of us. Tell me about the inside of the car. It looks pretty comfy in there, but also very sporty. Is there anything being done inside the car?
Not really, just a new gear shift knob and a radio and some rear speakers and a subwoofer.
So that's all factory leather, leather seats, leather steering wheel.
That's it. Everything else is factory, how it came from the showroom floor.
Gosh, it looks like it's in awesome condition considering its age. What year model did you say it was?
1991, so it's 29 years old.
It's older than my girlfriend.
It's older than me.
like the sticky tape.
Yeah, to hide my ALB light. Yeah.
That's an interesting touch. So I've just noticed there's some sticky tape on the dash here to hide the ALB light.
Yeah, so I pulled out the ALB system.
So what's ALB stand for those at home?
Anti-lock brakes. So it's
makes sense.
basically pretty much ABS.
Before ABS was a thing?
Yeah, before it became compulsory. It wasn't an optional extra in this car. And this car specifically was top of the line with all the extras.
Gosh.
And
it feels so good. It's so clean in here.
Yeah, I try to keep it as clean as possible.
Let's test out that four-wheel steer. I don't know if you guys have ever driven anything with four-wheel steer, but you can feel the back of the car moving. Like that's the tightest donut. In my Civic, I'd have to do almost a 3-point turn there, but the back of the car starts to fly around probably before the front of the car.
Yeah.
When you turn.
That's so.
So, gotta love that 80s technology. I think pretty much every car I've started to drive in this series has been smoother and nicer to drive than my own car. Oh, hello. Oh, there's the brakes.
Yeah, you gotta push them a little harder.
Lucky I did that here and not out on the road. Nice and smooth. It's just my bad driving, getting in and out of button clutches to not button clutches.
Yeah,
Man, it rides so nice. You wouldn't think it's been slammed on a set of coilovers.
you wouldn't think it.
Like this is a pretty crappy road. Yeah, awesome. And you can also tell you work at a wheel and tyre shop too, because it's set up nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the
Bang. Perfect.
caster set up for highway driving.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So there's no...
I like the nice high gear shift too.
I wanted to go a little higher, but I felt like it might have been too high.
Yeah, you really got to stand on those brakes. What's the situation with the brakes?
So I pulled out the ALB,
Yep.
and I've had a bit of problems with my front calipers.
Yep.
So I feel like there might still be some air in the system.
You did a good job with the engine rebuild. No squeaks, no rattles.
No, none.
Some VTEC. Yeah, really good job. It's amazing what someone can do with just a little bit of effort and time.
And a manual.
Just giving it a go. I use the workshop manual.
I used the workshop manual, yeah.
How good are they?
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, some of it kind of made absolutely no sense to me, but I tried my best. And, you know, it runs like a dream. I feel like because I replaced every single sensor in the car,
Yep.
it runs better than what it used to.
I can't fault it except for that brake pedal.
Yeah, except for brakes.
Except for the brake pedal, it's as new, I feel. Like it, no squeaks, no clunks.
Yeah, and because I converted the power steering to electric, it is actually a bit lighter.
How tricky was that to do electric steering?
Very easy. So I used a Holden Astra pump.
Yep.
And all it is just wire it up 3 wires and plumb it up, and that's it.
So it sits on top of your steering rack, and then the wires go to a sensor or something?
No,
under
so
here, or?
it's a pump with a reservoir on top,
Yep.
and yeah, it's nice and easy.
Wow.
Powers itself. And I've connected up the steering sensor for highways and stuff, so it can auto adjust the steering pressure.
Far out.
So all of that works
Smarter
as well.
than me. I'll have to give that a crack.
It took quite a while to find the right size for the sensor.
And what did you end up using in the end?
Well, I ended up getting a part from the US, but yeah, the fitting for the sensor was very weird. I had to get that from the USA, and that alone cost me $60. But I
Not
didn't.
too bad.
I wanted,
$60.
yeah, I wanted to keep it as factory as possible, while still making the engine bay look a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
don't mind the gearbox because
It's pretty smooth. So we're just turning on to a 80k zone. Wow. I didn't belt on it because so smooth too. You did a good job.
Doing the power steering delete, like converting it to electric, so there's no belt restraints on the engine. That
Freed up a bit of power.
Yeah, heaps. And then I added the headers as well, so it does give a bit more pull than it used to.
And that was only to like 4.5, 5 grand. Like, we hit the speed limit pretty quick, so I didn't want to, you know, cause too much attention.
Yeah, it is a bit louder than your standard.
One thing I've been asking all the guys and possibly girls in the future is, you know, the value of these cars, 80s, 90s cars, JDM cars, you know, they're all going crazy.
They are, they really are.
You know, and it's a good idea to hang on to something like this because they are pretty rare now. But what do you think the value is like on something like this?
Well, these are really all over the place. Like, I bought mine for 4,000.
Yeah.
Over a year ago now, and that was at the premium side of the pricing then.
Well, it's a pretty premium car, like leather seats, and there's no cracks or splits anywhere or wear marks. So.
Yeah, but in saying that, only a few weeks ago someone sold theirs in a day for 7,500. So
damn, so you've doubled your money.
yeah, and I would like to say mine's on the better quality of any of them in the country at the moment.
Yeah, well, I can vouch for that for sure.
Just a little harder. Yeah.
We've got to do something about those brakes.
Yeah, in time. I'm gonna get some braided brake lines. That should help a lot, and then bleed it again.
Bleed it more.
Because I replaced all the pads and rotors and rebuilt the calipers as well. So pretty much, if I touch something, I'd try and fix it.
Yeah, that's my motto. If something breaks, I always replace it with something better.
Yeah. So
back on to an 80k zone. I'll give it a little bit more of a boot this time. Second gear. And we're already at the speed limit, but man, that sounded good.
Yeah, it just feels like it keeps going.
Second gear, pull wide open throttle. Like, it doesn't throw you back in your seat, but it's smooth the whole way.
It does, it is.
This steering, you've done such a good job on that.
Yeah, it's really smooth. It feels kind of weird. I'll give you that, because I don't know.
Robotic.
Yeah, it is robotic.
Adds to the feel of the car, I think, you know. 80s, all the electronics, the pop-up headlights, the four-wheel steer. Now you've put on electric steering. I think that only adds to the appeal of it.
Yeah, gives a whole new level of uniqueness. Because there's not many Preludes specifically with an electric power steering conversion. It's only
Definitely the first person I've heard to do it.
a handful, as far as I'm aware.
One thing I do notice, being 6'3" and driving such a low, squat, wide, flat car, is I do have to sit back a bit because of the headroom, but
Yeah.
you know, I could live with it. You couldn't take it to the track because a helmet would
Oh, you'd
not
be
fit.
stuck. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, awesome. And these chairs are so comfy.
They're definitely comfortable for short term, but long term driving, I would say the fabric ones that they come with from factory are way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever sat in that back seat.
Well, certainly not since I've owned it. If I own it for long enough, I do plan on just building it to be a show car
Yeah, nice.
in a drivable state.
Yeah. Definitely could, and I think, you know, as long as you don't go too wild with it, the value is just going to go through the roof.
No, 100%.
Like, it won't be long and you can put on Club Rego.
Yeah, oh, I can now. But
Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't want to, because
No, because you drive it too much.
I drive it too much.
Well, Bryce, thanks so much for that. It's such an awesome car, and you know, I'm not here to thrash people's cars, but it is good to get a feel and drive all the different kinds of cars and talk to enthusiasts and see what makes them tick and what makes the cars tick.
Definitely.
But yeah, this is a lovely car, and I'm sure the condition it's in now, you're going to keep it this way for a long time, and it's only going to be more rare and more sought after in the future.
Definitely. I hope so. That'd be nice.
Thanks very much, mate.
No
Appreciate
worries.
it. Well guys, that brings us to the end of another episode and another feature. Hope you guys enjoyed Bryce's car as he heads off to go pick up his missus But what an awesome car. I really love driving all the different ages of Hondas plus other cars. If you have something different besides a Honda, this is not just a Honda channel, even though I own one, hit me up in the comments and we'll definitely do something together, because I would love to feature and look at any car, not just a Honda. Can be anything, can be a Nissan, can be a Toyota, can be a Subaru, can be a Mitsubishi, can be a Chev, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, whatever it is you want to do, hit me up and we'll definitely do some features of your pride and joy. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.